Hey, what's going on, YouTube? It's the brain of the mainframe here, NIle, Scala with POPXP, and joining me tonight, as always, is the what is this HTTP :/Twitter.com? This ain't the teen sensation. What is this shit?
Oh,
man!
I do the Twitter thing, but I am the teen sensation.
You are the teen sensation, and that hair is real, and I wish I had some of it. Billy, my friend, how are you doing tonight, bro?
I got a haircut. What do you think?
Looks good. Looks good. You know, it's shaped up nice. Look at that. You should take the lady out on the town, man. Take Deb out. You know, get some dinner.
Too busy, man.
Have you tried this place called the Chipotle?
Yeah, I could take it.
It's delicious.
Where did we go? We went out. Did we go out this? No, we went to yeah, we didn't go out.
No. Here we go, Laura Ravener. Teen sensation, Laura Ravener. What up, Lee Ditsworth? TJ James is in the house. Ruben, welcome. Heroin Burr. Jeffrey Vaughn, how are you doing tonight? Billy, we got a great show, bro. We got a great show tonight. It's hump day. So hopefully that theme will follow after the show. Who knows? Who knows what life's bringing up? But
PT, baby. PT.
Demon Phil, Marvin Wynn, everyone's rolling in. This is great. So we got three great guests tonight, bro.
Three great guests. And
what kind of guests?
I don't.
Hey, that's what horses eat. Don't worry.
And the cool thing is that not the cool thing, but the interesting thing is that all three of us had the same shirt, and none of us wore the same our back to comeback shirt because I think we thought each other was going to be wearing it. And now none of us are wearing our back to comeback shirts. Oh no, your wife is washing. Yours is in the laundry,
actually has it in the wash.
Oh, so are you the laundry guy or are you the?
I put the wash in the washing machine. The laundry in the washing machine.
Yeah.
She's the folder. I don't fold. I don't believe in it. I never have, never will. I think it's evil.
Nice.
But one thing I do believe in, and that's backing the comeback and doing what we can for comic shops.
Absolutely.
Keeping our local comic shops moving and going. And, I'd love to introduce our first guest tonight, which happens to be the head of this movement, a familiar name in the industry. So please, everyone, please welcome Josh Geppi. Josh, how we doing?
Hold your applause. Hold your applause.
How you guys doing? We're doing good, man. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing wonderful. Hope you guys are doing well. Thanks for having me.
Can't complain, man. Can't complain. It's always good to have you on.
Yeah, so you guys have been busy, huh? Things are ramping up. Books are being distributed to stores and all. And are we almost back to normal? Like schedule-wise and stuff?
We're slowly ramping up. There's still some publishers trying to, kind of get on that, I guess, that new schedule, and they don't want to overload comic stores. So it's good. I mean, it's a good pace getting back, and people are happy, so that's good. Getting their comics, and I keep going to my local comic shop, which is Mark Nathan's. I missed going today, so I have to go tomorrow. But I like getting my comics and enjoying them now that everything's back.
Did Mark had surgery or something, right?
Yeah, he did. I'm like, he's recovering from that, and so we'll all wish him well. Put out some good vibes. Yeah.
So let me ask you, man, how is the whole, how is the industry adapting to things now? Or do they kind of have their plan that they sent you guys, like, all right, this is how we're distributing? Or are you actually seeing we're starting to distribute slowly, but they're like, maybe let's ramp it up a little bit? Are they coming back to you guys? Do they keep changing things? Or
I think we're all kind of looking at the way things play out and kind of going from that. So when start certain things in motion, and then you get some feedback from it, and you're noticing what the stores need. So that's what people are responding to. It's saying, what can they take? They don't want to, put a big stress test on everybody when we're already in a rough economy. We're already dealing with COVID. Remember, everybody doesn't realize there's still a pandemic going on. Just because things are starting to open, it's still out there. So we got certain concerns, and everything. But for the most part, I think everything, knock on wood, has gone as smooth as it can. We're dealing with the little things that get thrown at us here and there, but like Diamond's a strong company, and we're doing the best we can, to help the retailers right now, and that's what the focus is. We want to help retailers, and we want the consumers getting the product they want.
Yeah, and what's the feedback you've been getting from retailers?
Retailers, it's an interesting game right now, and I'm pretty honest about everything. I mean, there's been some really great feedback. There's some other feedback coming because obviously the big news this year was DC distributing through other distributors. So there's people that feel some kind of way about that, and there's a lot of things to handle. But For the most part, retailers have been pretty good throughout this process. So we've gotten better feedback than negative feedback.
Well, that's good.
Nice.
That's good to hear. And you came on, so you've been doing a lot for the local comic shops and things. You started the hashtag Back the Comeback movement, and really trying to get creators, local comic shop owners, just generally people in the industry to really back this to help support it. You've even mentioned there's been some auctions from Jim Lee, some real big names in the industry that have been doing stuff. So if you can, tell us a little bit about this hashtag Back the Comeback charity auction.
Well, the charity auction, first I want to kind of go and tell you about like the Back the Comeback whole genesis of that. It was, everybody thinks it's like Diamond's comeback or something, which it wasn't. It was the industry's comeback.
Yeah.
So our comeback will be bigger than our setback. It meant collective. All the industry's coming back and everybody. It had nothing to do with Diamond as a singular entity. It meant all of us, all the comic stores, all the publishers, all the retailers, all the fans, everybody coming together and say, hey, we're back and we're going to be better than ever, which we'll get there. We will. I have no doubt in my mind. Fandom, you cannot stop. You cannot stop fandom. People are starved for, their favorite stories and the things they love. So I think it's going to be an awesome thing. The charity auction was derived, again, another way to raise some funds, because you're going to have to fill the coffers for these different charities. So there's the Bink Foundation, which Jim Lee had started doing his sketches, which he's raised a ton of money, God bless him, to do this. I mean, people are buying his sketches. I mean, Jim Lee can sneeze on a piece of paper and the thing's going to go for $5,000 or $10,000. I mean, the guy's tremendously talented and raised a lot of money. So what we want to do is, again, in conjunction with it, start a little charity fundraiser. So we raise money not only for the comic stores, but also the game stores. Because remember, they're not the only stores out there that we deal with. We have Diamond Comic Distributors and Alliance Game Distributors. Mm-hmm. And we want to make sure we're raising money equally for the game distributors, or the gaming side of the house, rather. And people get their chance to pick which charity they want to support when they bid on their items. Like, they'll win something and say, which charity would you like this to go to? And they can select that, pay, and then that money will go directly to that charity. Mm-hmm. So we've put together, it's about 33 lots in this charity auction we're doing, and we're going to do some more things going forward that we're figuring out, but there's 33 lots, some really cool things, including a piece by Mr. Billy Tucci in there that was his cover to the Miami Comic-Con program book, right, Billy?
Yep. The Miami Comic-Con program guide. I did a Batman cover, and we're also giving it's 11 by 17. It's done with a wash. It's actually really super affordable right now. It's like $105.
Yeah, and the thing's a 2-week auction, so it's off to a start where it's just people get in there. Most people wait till later. It's like if you ever watch Heritage's auctions, like things are nothing. All of a sudden, the last second, it's like, and it ticks up. But there's some charity experiences, like Zoom call with Steve, a Library of Congress visit with Steve. There's some different, comic book CGCs in there. There is, I know you guys are buddies with Ethan Van Sciver. There's a 4-page spread from Convergence in there that he did. That is absolutely gorgeous. So that's up for auction. Some of the things have minimum bids on them because we want to make sure we're raising as much money for charity as we can. But for the most part, there's a lot of cool things. Joe Jusko did a Black Cat. Scotty Young has a sketch in his Marvel artist, Scotty Young. There's a really cool one-of-a-kind piece that's right there in the middle that Soro Phoenix Rising donated from Calliope Games. It's a one-of-a-kind G-Clay that they had made for the auction based off the artwork, and it's actually signed by the artist because it's a digital thing, but they made it into a G-Clay. And it's really actually a really cool piece. So that's something to look at.
NIle? We can't expand on that?
You can click on the actual auction. Yeah, so if you go in there, and it is... Yeah, right there. It's a gorgeous piece. I think it's like 24 by 36. I want to say.
Oh wow!
But it's really cool artwork. I dig that style a lot.
Yeah.
But Ray Weirs from Calliope Games facilitated donating that, which is, I'm sure that'll go up in price. I think it's like at a couple $100 right now. Outside of that, there's some prototypes in this auction too. Like there's things from Renegade Game Studios has this. Power Rangers Heroes of the Grid Megazord little prototype, which is cheap right now. It's like $100. It's like that's one of a kind prototype, from the game they did. So it was approved by Hasbro to actually sell in this auction. So that's really cool. There's some stuff from WizKids and NECA that are prototypes as well. They're right below it. And that's actually like, I think 20 some pieces. There's a lot of them in there if you go and cycle through all those pictures, but it's all like the X-Men and all these different characters in there. It's really wild. And they're like the unpainted, like color guides, I guess they were trying to do and all, but like as they were going and marking stuff up, but it's pretty sweet. Like I said, the detail in these minis is astounding.
Are those
and those
zero clicks?
Yeah, like that. Yeah. So it's like these are the larger ones, like I guess, so they can figure out. Yeah.
I had that big Phoenix. So we got San Diego Comic-Con a few years back. There's very few of them made.
Yeah, exactly. So if you go on there, first of all, you got to go to digauction.com, and you go on there. You can get to the auction. You can register easy, get in there and bid and do something great for charity. So we're all stoked about getting this underway. There's a lot, like Terry Moore donated a couple pieces of Stranger in Paradise artwork that's in there. There's a Joe Jusko painting that's actually in there that Steve donated of Deja Thoris and Vampirilla. So that's in there. Sora Sung donated a Black Cat drawing. Ken Lashley's got a Batman drawing in there.
Nice. This is my Batman drawing too below that one.
Yeah.
Is that Ken's?
Yeah, I was gonna. This one's
Ken's amazing.
Yours.
Yeah, here's yours, and it also has the print if you go to the next one too that comes with it as well. So it's like I said, I love it. I love Billy's work, and also Frank Cho donated, and you see, of course, everything with Frank. Frank donated his Wolverine versus the Brood Queen. If you scroll down, I think a little bit more, you'll see it middle right there next to that Megazord prototype. But yeah, he did that, inked it up for the auction, and donated it. So that's
great.
Yeah, his style is so clean, it's ridiculous. I don't know how he does what he does, but there's that. Also, that you see that sheet of cards that is at the bottom, the Magic. That's actually a beta press sheet that goes for crazy money. That's why it's already at almost $5,000 now. But it's an uncut beta press sheet, and it's a one-sided. So it's just a one-sided like Magic cards from the beta set, and it's ridiculously, hard to find. First of all, it was donated from Peter Atkinson from Gen Con, and Peter was with Wizard of the Coast and all. So that is a pretty awesome thing. And then there's the full size. The last auction item is the full size Frank Cho painting that was donated by Steve. That's a 33 by 69, I want to say. But that's like the Emma Frost, like ice, it's Ice Queen. But there's a picture in there that's kind of shadowed out. But you see one of my employees standing next to it, and he's a normal sized dude. Like we just kind of blocked him out. But let's see if you can get to it. Yeah. So that's how big that piece is. So we had gotten that from Frank years ago, and I suggested it as one of the things that could be donated to the auction. That's why it's like probably like $20-some thousand piece, but we started at like half that. So I'm sure somebody will jump in there and put in the first bid at like half value right now. So looking forward to somebody doing that. Just some really cool stuff, man. It's exciting to raise money for a great cause to help shops. There is just, the other thing is that John Kovalik, that Munchkin mega package that's in there, that is actually, the artist is going to draw you as a Munchkin. Like so the game Munchkin, like you'll see it's right next to what you just clicked on. The artist John Kovalik will actually draw you as a Munchkin. So that's original art from the game. And then you get a signed copy of that with Steve Jackson's signature and everything else on it too from Steve Jackson Games. But some, like I said, just it's neat, like kind of things you don't see often. Like, hey, you get drawn in, by this creator or whatever, as an auction item. There's just so many different cool pieces, and there'll be more added to it too. There's one actually. Reed Pop, spoiler alert, I'll tell you guys first. Reed has donated like a couple premium packages for a con, any Comic Con for 2021. So through 2021, you get a premium package with a pair of tickets to any Comic Con through 2021. So it's like premium. You get like their little perks and all this kind of stuff. So that's pretty neat. And that's like, anywhere from $800 and up like value anyway. So that's pretty cool.
It's crazy that Convergence was 5 years ago. Sorry, I know it's off topic. I was just looking at his signature and the date, and I'm like 2015.
I remember actually buying that from Ethan directly. Like, because it's through our gallery and everything. And I got it from Ethan, and I was like, this would be a great piece to, try to raise some money. Yeah. And like I said, it's all for charity. It's all for helping comics shops and game stores. And the game store charity is the Jack Vassell Memorial Fund. Some people on the gaming side know Tom Vassell, who's like does Dice Tower and all these things, and he's pretty well known. Unfortunately, he lost his young son early on. His little boy, and he started the Jack Vassell Memorial Fund, and it helps comic stores. Game stores. So we selected them as the charity to help facilitate things on the gaming side. But really good person.
Nice. Now, is this everything that's here? Is this everything that's going to be in this auction, or are you guys adding to it?
We're going to have the Reed Pop one will come up tomorrow. There's another thing coming in from Valiant. There's some rare variants that are going to be on the Valiant one that we pop in there. And then some other little items that'll be added. Some people were kind of slow to get us stuff, so we couldn't get it into the auction. Luckily, some people like Billy were good enough to send me something like a scan or something, so I could be like, here, let me get it in there immediately. But we'll add to it. And I think going in the future, we'll start adding some more charity items to some of our regular auctions. So we say this is a special charity item, and then we'll just keep raising money over time, because we don't want to be a one-off of saying, okay, this is the only time we're doing something. This is a continued effort. We want to keep raising money for stores, but we want to get the awareness out there. The best thing you can do is support your local comic shop or game store, is go spend money with them, tell them you're still around, or do what you can to even spread the word that they're open. If you can't be there, spread the word to somebody else, that kind of stuff. It's important that we all come together as a community, and this is 100%. We don't see a dime from any of this. There's no money that we make off of it. We're trying to help the greater good. I've put a lot of effort into it. I know it doesn't seem like a ton of different items up there, but they're selected and they're nice, and they're, it's going to bring money into it for a good cause. And like I said, hopefully we can keep growing this.
Yeah. Now I have a question. So you're going to have this auction. Obviously, these items are still, there's bids on these items. How do you distribute the funds to local comic shops?
That's through the foundations. So exactly what the Bink Foundation has the Comic United Fund, I want to say it's called. Yep. That's helped with Lion Forge and all. They helped start this whole thing through Bink. So that's where that money's going to go for the comic stores, and the gaming store money is going to go through the Jack Vassell Memorial Fund. So the money is going to go directly to those charities as a donation from the person that wins. So we'll just say, okay, this is the donation that's going to them. And then they distribute out the funds to help the shops as the shops go and say, hey, I need money for this, blah, blah. And they kind of apply for that money. So we don't touch any of the funds. We let it go through people that are already handling that stuff.
So they kind of, like the comic shops actually reach out to these charitable organizations and say, hey, look, we're not going to be able to make rent. We're struggling on trying to get business going. We're looking for X amount. And they may be able to say, well, we can, help give you a little something or help cover some costs for you.
Yeah, that's exactly what they do. And the thing is, people have like a thing, they think it's kind of self-serving on our end, but it's not, because the money doesn't go to pay like a diamond bill. What it does is these foundations really go to help people pay like their store rent or their home rent or home bills and stuff like that. Because remember, small business owners, a lot of times they're just taking money away from themselves to try to stay alive, and they've got to eat too. They've got to, pay their bills. They've got to try to, keep their lives going, and you don't want them to falter or have to, struggle. So these people help them out, and they're saying, okay, what do you need for these kind of things? And stuff goes for their stores or their personal kind of financial situations or what have you. And it's a good thing they're doing. As I said, it's human kindness at its best. So that's what my message I've been preaching to everybody. I said, man, be positive and be good to each other. I said, there's so much unrest right now in the world, so much stuff going on. It doesn't matter what side of the fence you're on with it. Just it takes nothing to be kind to somebody. Yeah, so if you can be understanding, if you could be genuine, if you can be loving to them and just say, hey, man, I got a listening ear for you. I don't have to get upset. You can just stay calm. People feed off of you. So I always think it's something good to do is just hear people out, be nice, be kind. And it's like the golden rule stuff, man. Treat others like you want to be treated. And, that's the way I've been living. It's been working good. I've been off Facebook, so I haven't been on there, listening to everybody beef back and forth at each other. And it's been nice. It's been nice, man.
Yeah, and I think this is a cool one. To spend the day with Steve. Actually, it's for
That's a really cool one.
Well, yeah, and it's not just for the winning bidder; it's also for the bidder and a guest.
Yes,
you get to bring someone along with you and spend the day with Steve and head over there and check everything. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, you get lunch and you get dinner. You get lunch, I think, in like Washington with him.
Mm-hmm.
You get dinner when you come back to Baltimore. It doesn't include airfare or anything like that. You just got to make it to Baltimore. You'll be driven down to the Library of Congress in D.C. You'll have lunch with Steve. He'll take you by the exhibit of things that he's donated there, and they've got the first drawings of Mickey Mouse he donated, so you can see those. And I'm sure he's really, really good friends with obviously the curator of the Library of Congress, Carla Hayden, and both of them I'm sure are probably going to be part of this together too. I mean, I'm sure he'll be able to get her involved in it as well. So it'll be a nice day. You'll see some really cool stuff. I'm sure it'll make some magic happen.
Excellent. That's cool, man. That's really cool.
For now.
I know. I want that one.
I'm going to bid on it. I'll be like, all right.
What's it? What's that now?
It's like at 500 something or whatever it is, like 500.
Currently at $500. There's 9 days to go. I mean, like you said, there's 9 days to go on these items here. You've got more coming. This is a great cause, guys. 100% of the proceeds for every bid that's won is going to the 2 foundations that were mentioned by Josh. And those, everything here is 100% going to the local comic shops, local game shops. And it's just another a way to help, support our local communities, our local shops, especially as we try to adapt to the new normal right now. So very cool, very cool. And Josh, we have a super chat here from Lee Ditsworth. And, speaking, comics, his comic shops are starting to get packages and stuff in. Lee says, I picked up a copy of Creeps number 25 today. So badly damaged, my local comic shop gave it to me for free. Please address what you are doing to address poor packing.
Well, first off, sorry you got a damaged comic, because that's not acceptable by any stretch of the imagination in my eyes. But we are doing everything we can for quality control, looking at how things are received, how things are packaged. Everything we do, we are always trying to evolve and get better. I know people complain about having damages. Trust me, the millions of pieces of product that we handle per week, you're going to notice some things do get damaged, and I'm sorry to say that. It's part of life. There is a damaged part of things. And it's assuming that everything we get is in perfect condition too. Sometimes we might get stuff from the printer that's already has issues where people are talking about things not being 9/8. It might have come in a printer box. It was already damaged from the printer, and it could be corners or messed up or whatever else it might be. There's a lot of variables. My apologies on behalf of our company. It's like I said, to me, I don't like damages any more than you guys like them. It's never a fun thing to deal with, and it's always one of those tough questions that gets asked. I have no problem answering it because, like I said, it is a concern for me too. I take it very seriously, so I will go back and I will relay this message and say, hey, look, this is what people are saying. Anything that comes through, or people can message me directly, whatever it is, and say, hey, they got issues. No pun intended. But if you want, if you want to tell me about something, if there's an issue, I will definitely see that it's addressed. We are trying to get better and better and better as time goes on. Trust me, actually, believe it or not, damages have gone down over the years. In a lot of respects, there's some things we put in place, but people, if they see one pop up, just going to keep going. Some people are like, I always get damages. And it could be not trying to play the scapegoat here and say, oh, it's UPS or FedEx or whatever else this is. I'm like, once it's out of our hands and it's, it's kick dropped, whatever it is, crushed by another carrier, it's hard to defend certain things. But I'm, like I said, I know it's an issue, and we're looking into everything we can to lessen that kind of effect on things.
Well, if you don't mind me asking, if someone, especially like maybe has their local comic shop order a book they want in their collection or have, if something comes in damaged, is there a process? Like, can the comic shop return the damaged stuff to get a new issue sent?
Yeah, well, when comic stores receive their comics and they report damages, they can, put in for replacements of things. So we always try our best to go and facilitate getting them their books and turn it around quickly. We try to make things right. If there's a problem, we're always going to try to make it right. There's always going to be different things that happen, and there's situation to situation, but Key is trying to get better. I see there's a lot of comments that come in. I can read on the side here about stuff. Remember, everybody's trying the best they can, and it's not saying, oh, just bear with us kind of thing. But no, we're getting back to where we're used to shipping again to schedules, and where people are open, or comic stores that can receive product, or people that can afford to get new product right now, because some stores are still struggling, and we got to help people out on the finance side or whatever else it is, because they got to figure out how they can support their shops. And we want to be there for everybody. We want to try to make a path to success for the retailers. It's like I said, it's an unprecedented situation right now. Nobody expected a global pandemic. It's bad enough as it is. There's been other variables that 2020 keeps hitting harder than Mike Tyson. Every time you turn around, something new is happening. So I'm seeing something come up on the side here in comments. What is it? The word comic, not in the phrase.
Yeah.
Oh, the word and here's the deal. Again, it was about the industries as a whole. So it not only transcended comic books, but gaming, all these different stores and specialty shops that come up. So it didn't say it was only singling out comic books. We use the Comic Code Authority. Some people feel like, oh, maybe that's not the right thing. I said, you know what? My idea to use the comic code kind of thing, like that outline kind of deal. And then the slogan was Thieves. But I like it. Another thing is it's saying our comeback will be bigger than our setback. So it's all of us collectively. It's not anything, like I said, it's not about Diamond. It's about the industries as a whole. So anybody can participate in that. There's gaming stores that actually are doing that. There's gaming publishers that are doing things to put stuff on packaging or whatever else it might be. So we wanted to be not exclusionary in it, but we wanted to be inclusionary as much as we could and say, look, man, this is for everybody. We don't want to just kind of push us off the side and be like, okay, it's just about us. So that's why comic is not in the word. But I am making plans to do things that are more comic focused and more gaming focused too, now that that's out there. So I'm trying to push for some more stuff that way.
Yeah, and then lastly, I say maybe if we can just maybe address the Gotham City Comics said that they had a lot of damages this week, shortages, and had an issue with new boxes. Are there new boxes that are shipping?
I think that they're talking about the new boxes, which actually the new boxes are tested to be stronger than the old boxes. If we're talking about the 200 counts, but they're flat bottoms. Everybody remember the old like diamond boxes where they have the flaps at the bottom, like a typical cardboard box. Now the new ones are completely flat and they're glued boxes. So you don't have something in there pushing up the books, whatever. It's completely flat at the bottom. Some people don't like them just because of the fact that, it's like cutting them down or whatever else it is. But we're trying to, like I said, people are responding to us and giving us suggestions saying we need a better box or we need this. We're listening. Mm-hmm. The key is as retailers, be vocal and say, here's what you want. My mission right now is to be kind of polling these retailers saying, we don't want to just give you something. We want to hear what you need. So what is it that you need? What is going to make your business thrive? What's going to be the thing that gets you to be more successful? And what can we provide to you? That's my way of thinking. So I take all this stuff seriously. So when you put questions in or tell me stuff like that, it's not something that falls on deaf ears. I literally go back and I say, this is what is going on right now, just so you know. So like I said, I'm very transparent, and I'll always continue to be transparent in what I do because I don't believe in bullshitting anybody.
There you go.
Yeah. And then Christopher Marvin Wynn, any plans to modernize the vendor submission forms?
The vendor submission forum stuff is not part of what I do, so I'll bring it up. Modernization is a big thing for us right now because it's technology, everything else. So when we're going and revamping stuff, my goal is to make things better, smoother, and more future-proof. So the way we handle things now, like adapting to a society that technology changes every 2 seconds, we want to be ahead of the curve. Mm-hmm. We want to be like putting in systems that make sense. Remember, the one at Olive Branch right now, our pick, pack, and pick to light system, our Domatic system, is actually the same thing Amazon uses. So we have high technology in certain things, but it depends on what's being picked and packed at that location. Mm-hmm. So people are like, oh, I don't see this, but I'm like, we do have some pretty good technology that's under our belts.
Nice. And then I'm going to go, one of our producers, Brian, has a great question. We'll do this question. And then, Josh, I hope you stick around because we've got our next guest, Cara Nicole, backstage.
Question, Josh. Have you ever picked a pack of pickled peppers
Oh, no. You couldn't even say it.
Nailed it.
Pickle on the peckers. But Blevins asked, he says, when deciding how to come back, was there any thought about giving a special pricing for brick and mortar only to help level the field against mail order and online only to encourage a public store, which I mean, thinks more encouraging, local purchasing versus mail order for customers?
We always, it's our customers are our customers. I mean, it's always going to be a hot button topic when it comes to mail order versus brick and mortar. I'm always going to be a fan and go more brick and mortar with things because it is a tough job because of you're paying for, your buildings, your retail fronts. There's a lot of expense and that kind of stuff. We're trying to do something to help everybody. If we're not going to kind of single it off and say, listen, we're only doing this for a comic store. We're only doing this for online people or whatever else it might be. The goal here is to help everyone. There is probably going to be things where people can get at a comic shop, like the Walking Dead comics that came out with the Negan Lives stuff, where Skybound was so gracious enough to print those and give the retailers, all these free comics and everything that they could go sell, and it got money for them. That was something I always thought should be done in the beginning part. It says, let's give product to the retailers some way that they make money for their store themselves. So they're in control of their money. They're not asking somebody else for it. I always thought that was a really good way of going about that. And if you look at what Skybound did, I mean, basically with that Negan Gold, there was like one per store and then 2 silver ones. It was like a couple $100 to $400 book, depending on when you sold it. And that goes right in the store's pocket.
That's great. Good for him.
That's great, man. But if anyone has any other questions, like Josh said, you're more than welcome to reach out to him. Unfortunately, as far as this topic's concerned, we are out of time. Josh, we hope you hang out with us as long as you can, because we've got such an awesome creator, cosplayer, just an all-around funny, great person, very talented artist herself.
I've met Cara. I've met Cara before too. But I do need to run because I have to.
Right. Hey, would you come back on, because we're seeing a lot of questions, like Gotham City Comics has a lot of questions. Would you mind coming on one day and we'll schedule it for you to engage with retailers, maybe bring a bunch of retailers on, see how we can all do things better, what more needs they have, and kind of get a little dialogue going with that?
Yeah, I don't shy away from anything. If there's stuff I can answer, remember, not everything is something that's directly under my control, but if it's something I can speak about, I will.
Yeah, it's also good.
I don't have a problem with that.
For you to hear it, because then maybe you could bring it to those departments directly and they can hear it from you. So
yeah, no, absolutely. Well, I appreciate you guys having me. It's been a blast, and thank you so much for promoting the auction, and I hope people participate in it.
Yes.
And thank you. And back to Comeback, everybody. Please go to the auction. The link's in the description, and it's all for the comic shops. So please, I got a cool Batman on there too.
So many goodies in here.
What?
You know what? So many goodies. I mean, I don't know how this Batman piece got in there, but hey, you know what? I guess charity goes both ways.
I figured it was a mainstream thing. I thought that people would like that.
I love that.
It's a nice piece. It's really cool and gritty looking.
It's fantastic.
I penciled it, I inked it, and I gave it a nice wash.
You did. A lovely wash. All right, Josh. Thanks so much for coming on. I'll be in touch. I actually I got some things I want to chat with you about later on. But have a great night, and
all right.
We will talk to you later, my friend.
Take care, guys. Thank you. Bye night.
And without further ado, we introduce Miss Cara Nicole. Cara, how you doing?
I am fantastic. How are you all tonight?
We are doing.
How are you, troublemaker? You keep getting in trouble everywhere you go.
Are you watching?
I get in a little bit of trouble.
Do you have your computer on?
Yeah, are you guys getting like a feedback?
Yeah. You have the page on?
Wendy!
Hi, Wendy. Let me change my sound and get out of the Bluetooth. I wonder if that's what the problem is. All right, is that better?
Let's see.
It's a little.
Much better.
Much better. Okay. Let me turn my sound up so I can hear. There we go.
All right. So, Cara, how have you been? It's been a while since we've had you on the show.
I have been doing fantastic. It's just been insane around here with my new book. Mm-hmm. And yeah, it's Confessions of a Cosplay Diva. It's an idea that I had a long time ago, and I thought, hey, this is a this is a ridiculous idea. I should do this. And then I did it.
Now, you've had this in the works for a while, right? You've been working on this on and off throughout even some of the comic books you've been doing, and obviously the shows you're attending.
I have. It's been a very large labor of love, and I don't want to call anybody out.
Mm-hmm.
That's like my biggest thing. I didn't want to put anyone in like a bad, uncomfortable position, because there are things that have happened. So I do a lot of redacting and a lot of like word around, like, because if something happens between like me and another cosplayer or an artist or a convention or whatever, that's between us. Like, I'm not one to take that and spill it all out there. Hi, Apex Comics. You know what I mean? And really, hi, Gotham. I've done so much stuff at your store over the years. But
they're awesome, Gotham City.
What?
I said they're awesome, Gotham City Comics.
Oh, yeah. Fantastic. Love their place. But so I didn't want to like shame anybody, because that's their business. You know what I mean? Like, their convention, their work, that's their business. And this is mine. And we are a team. And people don't seem to see that, especially with cosplayers. They're very much like, the conventions are over here, and the cosplayers are over here, and the artists are over here, and the writers are over here. No. We are all a team.
Yeah.
And we've got to see each other that way. So if you have a personal beef with somebody, you don't throw their business under the bus.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Just because you're mad at them. So I wanted to make sure that I wrote this in a way that was very tactful
mm-hmm.
and fair.
Nice. Do you use aliases or something? I mean, you got some cool stories. I mean, I've heard some of the other things that you hear. But do you tell some of these confessions, these stories, and maybe just use aliases or something?
No, I use big black bars.
Oh, do you?
Redacted.
Oh, yeah, redacted. You said that earlier. I'm sorry.
Now with all the stories and stuff you have in here, is this just kind of like, here's just how things are? Is there almost like lessons in here? Like, if you want to do this, if you want to, do the cosplaying and build that career up, these are the things you can expect?
All of the above. So most of my books come in threes. For those of you who know, I do have a line of books already, the Cara Nicole AZ Power Girl photo books. And so I have those three because, bad things come in threes.
Yeah.
That's true.
And that's what I did. And these were more like an artist's sketchbook. So these are like some of my stories and smaller photos and small photo sets and that sort of thing. And I did that to I started that in 2012. That was my first book. So you can get kind of an idea. Got a little bit of that going on. And it's kind of like an artist's sketchbook.
Mm-hmm.
So
cool.
That's what I did with those books. But this, I originally wanted it to be more writing. And then I was like, well, how many people want to necessarily read all that? So I combined it with a pinup book. So this one, and I can show you, this is just a mock-up. So I'll have like writing and a pinup.
Are you the first person to do this? Because I don't recall ever seeing any other cosplayers doing that.
I do know that Yaya Han has a book out, but I don't know. I don't think it's like this. My stuff's all comic book size because I do comic book cosplay predominantly. And so that's where I wanted to go and maintain that. These are all gradable and, you can bag them in boredom and put them between your comics and hide them from your wife. Someone wanted to see the Daphne cover, but I also have the Velma. And I've got tons of variant covers too.
Oh, that's awesome.
And stretch goals. And you're gonna love this.
On this one. Oh, that's awesome.
Oh wow! Wow, very good, very good.
Because who doesn't have a Spider-Man, an ASM 300 homage, right? Who doesn't have that?
Well, there are so many collectors.
How do you do that? Is that an actual photo or is that digital?
So this was about 5 images of me worked together, because people don't move like that.
Yeah.
But it was very complicated. And the web is actually an Ethernet cord.
Oh, really?
That is awesome.
Either way, it doesn't look comfortable.
No, not at all. That's why I'm like,
poses do not look comfortable.
Well, and I don't think that there's a cosplay, ASM 300, right?
yeah, I've never seen that, and that came out so well. That is awesome.
Yeah, so I'm really excited about that.
Now, Cara, we get a lot of people that watch our show too, though, that want to publish their own books.
Yeah,
They want to do their own comics and all. And you're killing it. You've got almost $46,000 on the Confessions of a Cosplay Diva. Who do you use for your printer?
I use Hero and Villain.
Who?
Hero and Villain Designs.
And where are they, Adam?
They are actually right down the street from me. They are in Glendale, Arizona. I know Naughty Fairies uses them for some things, as well as a few other creators. But I get really good prices, and for me, it's incredibly convenient because they're right down the street from my house.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, it's so great to use local printers,
Yeah.
We did that with our book. I just got our was printed, our Pure Line edition. Now they look amazing. Thank you very much for all your design work. And our rough cut editions were printed this week. Or last week was one, this week the other. And my printer would come over because he's maybe 20 minutes away and drop off samples. You know what I mean? Like, how's this? Is this the proof? Like, he literally dropped proof at my house.
Yes.
And what do you want, this paper stock or this paper stock? I did 2 of them for you because I didn't know which one you liked better.
Right.
Things like that kind of that kind of customer service that you just.
It's like that mom and pop feeling, where it's just like they give that extra care, and they kind of know what you like and want.
Yeah.
So they do. It's like a little extra, a little love. It's a little love.
And I love that about them too, because I can go over and I can check on stocks, and I can get all of these, samples. Most of these are blank on the inside. I can get a cup, like this one's not done at all. You can see I've got scratchy writing in there, where I've edited things and adjusted things, but I can get this now. I can go through it with a pen and update it,
Mm-hmm.
So I can do those things, and I can also get like samples of paper. Like this one is a virgin cover, and it's printed on linen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But it's empty on the inside because I didn't have anything at the time, but I wanted something to be able to take photos of and show people, like, look, this is what you're going to get.
Yeah.
So I love local printers, man. I really do. Nile, we got the, if I may make a little announcement real quick. Because of our She Returned the Warrior, we're so appreciative of it. And I was saying that it was going to press next week or the week after. It looks like the She Returned the Warrior hardcovers and the trade paperbacks. I think they're all going to press tomorrow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it's pretty great. Tomorrow night it'll go probably Monday. Probably Monday, but we're going ahead a week ahead, more than a week ahead. But we're also going to be doing, because we appreciate if anyone out there is watching, and I don't mean to take too much of your time away, we're going to be giving away everyone a bonus trading card for She Returned the Warrior. So you guys all get that bonus trading card too, free with every order. So I just want to thank you guys for being patient with us, and it's been a lot of fun, and it just feels so great to be publishing again. And I mean, don't you love it, Cara, to publish your own stuff, right? And it's your own creator-owned work, and it's just, oh man.
Yeah, it's been insane. I mean, and honestly, I got to say, you guys all saved us many of us, we rely on conventions and sales through that. And then unfortunately, with the pandemic happening, we all became locked down. So when we put out Fire Bitch, that really helped us to get through this to move on to the next project. So I'm fortunate that now I can bring you guys bigger projects and more of that kind of stuff. Fire Bitch I think it did pretty good. I was very happy with it. And so people seem to be really enjoying it. And now we're on to Confessions. And then Fire Bitch issue 2 is going to launch in August. And then we have Unstable Frequencies that's going to come out next year. And that's a horror book. So yeah, I just, we're on this roll that we get to put out our own stuff. We'll be putting out Confessions Volume 2 as well. And like I said, I have so many covers, so many variant covers. We even have a jeweled edition.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
I love those.
Isn't that fun?
That is cool.
Yeah. So, holofoil covers.
And the cool thing is people don't realize is how low our print runs are compared to, say, the majors.
Yes.
So you're really getting a big bang for your book. You're really getting a small press. You're really getting a very, very you're part of a very exclusive crew or club that you're in on the secret. So almost like if you like Motley Crue before the Theater of Pain album,
Yeah.
And then the
Shadow of the Devil album. Sorry, Shadow of the Devil album. Or U2. Before Unforgettable Fire came out. You're part of you're there on the early part of it, and you're in. I love it. I just love it. And don't you also like? I mean, you've got 504 backers. You almost have $46,000. And all these backers, you're personally connected to them.
Oh yeah.
There's that you answer them directly. You answer them personally. There's no retailer in between, and then there's no distributor in between. It's you, and then and what I love about it, it also it holds you accountable too to your actions.
Yes.
Right? I mean, if there's damaged books, so you don't ship something, you hear it.
It breaks my heart. It does. If somebody gets something damaged, it is devastating me. I'll tell you, I had one guy, and he gave me the wrong P.O. box. It came back. And then there was a problem with the address that he gave me before that. And it came back. And the mailman, there were stabbings in this box. I mean, did somebody have with a switchblade and just go off on this box? I reprinted his stuff, repackaged it, sent it all out again, because that's what you do. So when somebody comes and says, "Hey, I had this problem, I want to fix it," I'm like, I'm devastated. I'm like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I want to make this right." And and so that's what happens. Like, I know these people. When I pull your order and I see your name, it's very likely that I met you.
Yeah.
And I hugged you and I held your baby.
You know what I love about doing it is when we get them and it'll be like, "Hey, Billy," "Thanks, Bill." It's like if I order from, one of my friends or something, and they have that little note, like a little Sharpie note on the box. It's cool. I love it.
It is. I remember introducing my brother to you at San Diego, and it was so cool that my brother, who's a big fan of yours, I got to introduce him to you,
and I totally disappointed him when he met me.
He's like, "Oh, that's Billy."
Like, "Oh yeah, that's great. That's great."
He's much taller than I thought, though.
So thank you. So, Cara, now that we've got the project up, we have it right now. Can you let people know, for those out there that may not have pledged or to Confessions of a Cosplay Diva, could you give us a little insight on the book itself, how many pages it is, etc.?
So, like I said, it's a pinup / confessional, and it's comic book sized, and it's done kind of like a magazine in a way, where you have, and let me show you, okay, here's the Joker pinup in the Killing Joke form, and then here is my little lipstick up here with continuing on the story, and then you've got these like little pop outs here and there. Oh, and this is fun. So this is called So I Married a Cosplayer, and this was something that we added on as a stretch goal. That if we hit it, we were going to add 4 more pages to the book, but one of these pages is going to be Alfred's side of the story.
Yeah, I'd love to hear
nice.
We'd love to hear his side, aside from his amazing art and all, but it'd be great to.
Well, and people always want to know, like, what's it like? And what do you think when people are talking to your wife or taking pictures or whatever? So this is his whole side of the story. And then I also have, like, this one's called Sorry About Cara. And that's a phrase that some people have heard from time to time. Alfred will be like, sorry about Cara. Because I'll just say something ridiculous or do something ridiculous. Sorry about Cara. And there's actually a t-shirt that you can get that says sorry about Cara. Because I do stand up too. So I throw a lot of that in there. I talk about, at the beginning, I talk a lot about what a diva is and what it means.
So what is a diva to you, Cara Nicole? What is a diva to you?
So that's actually a funny story, and it's a big part of this in the book, but to me, it's just about owning who you are and being respectful to others and yourself and your community and portraying that. You know what I mean? It's about standing up straight and standing up for what's right instead of slouching and hiding. Mm-hmm. It's about wearing your costume with pride and embodying the hero that you are, trying to portray, as opposed to being snippy and snotty. Like, I talk a little bit about that, about how this is not, being a diva doesn't mean, pooping on others or being nasty to anybody. It's about raising yourself to a higher standard, knowing that you can do it, and holding yourself accountable.
Mm-hmm.
Here. Have you ever seen the 1981 film Diva, the French film?
No. Do I need to?
No, not really.
Now, if you don't mind, I would like to talk a little about, you just scrolled past that.
Yeah, what is that? Let's see that.
Yeah, so Alfred had spoken to you about that. You had drawn me for my birthday back in 2013.
Okay.
And he had hit you up and said, hey, can we, use this? And Alfred inked it and I colored it. And I was just so
better.
I'm excited to be able to color this.
I remember you getting nervous doing that because when you make, let's face it, you're a beautiful woman, and when you're trying to draw something and you're like, oh, what if it doesn't look like her? I don't want to make it look bad. I get stressed out. I do very, very few portraits. I really do.
Well, you do an amazing job, and it is one of the few pieces that I have framed and like hanging in my home. Like I treasure it and I love it, and so to be able to do this was just thrilling and so exciting.
We'll push it even more on Twitter and everything like that. I've been so stressed out doing this book and writing Miss Fury. You know how it is. You get nuts, and with the pandemic and with our dog that we had with her for the past month and a half, with her has been just a nightmare.
I know. I followed your dog when I saw that your dog was not doing well. I was like, no, and I followed it. And I'm so grateful that they're doing better. Yeah. And just I know what that's like.
Thank you. She's doing so great.
So you can see that I do have that as well, and it is censored, but this is a fun little thing that
Oh wow, that's great. Is that all the same printer? Like they can do all that stuff?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really exciting.
Yeah, hook up with these people, Billy, man. You have to hook up with these guys.
Yeah, man. We got to get them on and have them talk about what they print.
We do.
And they're really affordable. I'll tell you, he's super affordable because their overhead's low. Mm-hmm. And that's the beauty of what we do is our overhead's low. Like I actually have a little warehouse in my home now. for all of my shipping. And my printer prints out of his home, and it's so funny because half their house is all printing equipment.
Yes.
You know, from die cut stickers to the bookmaker to the print printer to all of that. And because they're at home, they they're running off solar power, so they don't have the electric bill, and they don't have to pay rent on the other place. And that's a lot of us. We do get that home office deduction. So if you're thinking about writing your own book or your own comic, think about it as do it now so you can get that tax write-off.
Yes.
And then consume your entire house. We don't have any house space left. We've got an art studio / photo studio instead of a living room.
Well, that's an artist's home.
Exactly. You convert each room into some portion of your studio.
I remember Debbie saying when we did the Zombie Summer stuff, and now that we have a little office over here, which is for fulfillment. And whenever anybody would call it, she's like, "It looks like Indiegogo threw up all over my house." It's everywhere.
Well, I'm fortunate that I put mine in the where the garage would be. So I have a separate entrance and everything, so I can have mail picked up right at my door.
Nice.
And I've learned so much about fulfillment and shipping, and like I ship in Gemini mailers for regular books as opposed to other things that I used to do. I used to be like, okay, let's cut the cardboard, let's tape it up, and now I'm like, all right, Gemini, I need 600 mailers. Okay, I need 600 more.
Yeah.
So, so that's kind of where we've upgraded and evolved. So I have my banners behind me, but I have everything like all sectioned out and organized where I can put all my books and put them by category and everything. And, and I don't go to the post office anymore. I have pickup right here. And I have a very close relationship with my lovely mail lady.
Nice.
You tip her well? Do you, like at Christmas time and stuff?
Well, we haven't gotten there yet because this is all new this year, but that's a good idea. I will make sure to take very good care of her at Christmas.
Yeah.
Hey, Cara, can we play? If you don't mind, I'd love to play your video because you usually do fun, energetic campaign videos.
Yeah, go for it.
So we'll play this for everyone.
Hello, my beautiful and lovely friends, and hello, new cosplay and pop culture aficionados. This year, I have the distinct honor of bringing you some amazing works in the form of my first creator-owned comic, and now this, my grand opus, a year of planning, countless photo shoots, conventions, and events served in creating the pinnacle of Cara Nicole fandom. I now bring you the sessions of a Cosplay Diva. In the pages of this glorious boutique book, you will find my most coveted cosplay images, the characters you love, and some you need to keep an eye on. Not only that, but this curated gallery of sexy cosplay also comes with intimate narration, including unfiltered, raw, and powerful content from my experiences in cosplay. You know I love to give you more. I am very excited to bring you a playful and sexy set of covers for our very collectible 44-page comic-sized book. Choose your favorite or add any extra book to your pledge. You can even add them all included in this campaign. I am thrilled to present you with amazing extras. I support cosplay, and I know you do too. You'll also want to check out the prints. I know you will love the stretch goals in this campaign as well, including more pages, patches, cards, and more. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video and look at the campaign. I am so psyched for this book, and you should be too. Please pledge, share, and remember, with great boobs comes great responsibility to cosplay. Cara out.
That was a really good video, Cara.
Great.
Love that. That's awesome. Now I gotta ask, with all the conventions and stuff on hold now, I mean, it's obviously what's great is you've got all these other projects going on, so you now can kind of like refocus, or not even refocus, but put more focus to these books that you're working on in the meantime till things kind of start opening up.
Oh, yeah. Well, and I do a lot of work with other creators as well, and I do a lot of cosplay covers for comic books. As far as I know, I have more cosplay covers than any other cosplayer, like, ever. Yeah. So, dig, look for your cosplayers, prove me wrong. But I have, the Naughty Fairies books, the Totally Rad series. I did Lily Demoness. I've got a few more coming up. I've done Changeling from Antonio D. Anthony Delaney.
Yeah, I love Antonio.
I even had Vampirella over here. So
yeah, you're a great Vampirella.
Thank you. I appreciate that. So yeah, I love comics and I love cosplay, and I really want to bridge that gap between them. You see the cosplayers over here and the comics over here. Like, no, we go together.
Yeah. No, exactly. So let me ask you, do you guys have any conventions lined up? Do you have any that you would even attend if you can, or are you like, I'm going to stay away right now?
Well, they keep canceling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I can say that I have been booked for Planet Comic Con 2021.
Would you go to Baltimore if it doesn't get canceled?
I don't know. It looks like it might be canceled. I live in Arizona, and we are some of the highest COVID cases in the country right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I really don't know. I think a lot of it is going to depend on what happens. I mean, if I could drive, I think it would be a little bit different.
Yeah.
Is Baltimore looking like it's going to happen?
Well, so far they haven't announced any cancellations, but I think it's kind of like right there in New York. I mean, I'm sure we're going to hear New York's going to cancel soon, and I'm sure Baltimore will too. I think no one wants to take the chances, or the risk.
Lee Ditzworth says Fiend Fest.
Yeah.
That is not up to me. I mean, I can go, but I would love to be a part of Fiend Fest, and I don't even know. They haven't even really been talking very much. It's just so up in the air. I try to do a bunch of conventions online. I try to go on people's shows. I try to interact as much as I possibly can. Oh, I guess Tucson canceled today.
Oh, wow. And that's in November, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't see how they're going to be able to put on, unfortunately, Baltimore or New York.
Yeah, it's going to be tough.
People are not going to want to go anyway.
Yeah.
I was hoping if things die down enough to possibly do some store signings.
Mm-hmm.
So if there are any stores that are within driving distance, which for me, driving distance is like 15 hours. 15 tops.
Gotham City Comics.
Gotham City, yeah, I would love to do a signing there. They're just down the street, kind of. They're across town. But yeah, I would love to do some store signings for whatever stores are open, because you can stay socially distanced. I don't know how much fun that would be with the masks and the distancing, but I would like to be available as much as I can. I've been on a 30-day ban from Facebook, and I was on a 7-day ban and a 3-day ban and a 24-hour ban before that. So
all right. Well, we have Art T. Barron. Would you mind us if we bring Art T. Barron?
Yeah, sure.
So he wants to know why you were banned too, and then we'll let you go.
Yeah.
But I'm curious if you could talk about it. But ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, Mr. Art T. Barron.
Artie,
how are you? How are you guys?
Art,
good,
Cara? Do you know Cara?
I think I've done shows with you, but I don't think we've ever met personally.
I think we crossed paths. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And I don't even know how I can top what you do and what you just showed off. So I'll do my best.
well, Art's a troublemaker too, Cara.
Yeah, troublemakers unite.
So everyone wants to know, what did you do to get banned from Facebook again?
So the final one was ridiculous. This was so ridiculous. They are gunning for me. Someone asked me how much the prints were on my campaign, and I didn't even use the word dollars or a dollar sign. I just said that they were like 20 each or 6 for 100 or whatever. And they popped me, and they were like, "You're not allowed to be selling on your personal page."
Really?
Really?
I do it all the time.
Yeah. Oh,
There's
someone there.
because someone flagged you though. Someone started trolling.
Yeah,
you.
somebody didn't like what you were doing for sure.
Yeah.
Well, I was on their radar, They didn't like they didn't like this cover at first because it was covered.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you see what some of these just ordinary girls post pictures of themselves.
You should see what's on Art's page.
Yeah,
There's worse.
I'm gonna go see what's on our page.
There's shots of me in the nude. Trust me, no one wants to see that.
So yeah, they were gunning for me, so I'm gonna have to super behave myself now. And I've been doing more on Twitch, so you can find me on Twitch. My fan page is still up and running. I do have some moderators over there, so you can find me on my Facebook fan page as well as Twitter, Instagram, and now Twitch.
Nice. How are you liking Twitch?
I'm enjoying it. You know, Alfred and I did some sing-along music last night, and I styled a wig today, and I've done some basic chitty chatting, and I'm always trying to find. I colored a Steph Wilson
nice.
color, a black and white cover that Steph Wilson had done for Fire Bitch. So I try to mix it up and visit, and it's been the best thing for me to get out. Like this sort of thing, like socializing with you guys means so much to me because I don't get to go out and see everybody, and there's so many people that I've missed this year. So
how many shows do you do a year?
Oh, geez. I stopped counting in 2016 when I realized I did 36.
Oh, wow.
So how many is that a month then? That's over 3 a month, right?
It depends. Sometimes it's 3, sometimes it's 2, sometimes it's 4. I remember one time I did 16 weeks straight.
Oh my God! Yeah, because there's not a lot of shows in January or February or even March, so it really picks up April.
Yeah.
You know, and even December, there's not a lot of shows. So from like April to November, you did 36 shows. You know, you're doing over 30 shows.
Right, but then I'm doing my my crowdfunding for my calendar. So I've been doing that for the past 7 years, and so then you've got your calendar crowdfunding and your fulfillment and everything. And I think that this last one was my biggest one ever. I went from my normal 150 to almost 400 backers. So
wow,
it was a huge bump.
You're really growing that fan base. That's good. And that's how crowdfunding and stuff should go. I mean, it's like a staircase, you know, you're just adding a new step going up, and you know, each campaign should only get bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
I was at a convention in Texas, and it was Humberto Ramos and Francisco. I forget how you say his last name. I think you were there too, Billy, but you weren't hanging out with us that night.
Thanks for the invite. I was alone.
Yeah, we saw a bunch of like cosplayers.
The hungry man.
We were just like, you know what? Some cosplayers got at some point to do a crowdfund. They have to do a crowdfund. And then when I saw, because you've been doing this for a while now, right? This isn't your first rodeo. And I was like, as soon as I saw yours, I was like, somebody did it, man. Somebody got smart and actually crowdfund, you know, a cosplay book. And it's a lot of it's a good move, man. I mean, I can't believe it wasn't done before this.
Well, this is the 4th cosplay book that I've crowdfunded.
No, I mean even before you did it originally. I mean, you're the one that started the whole thing. I've never seen anybody else do it. Yeah.
And I don't know why they don't either. It's a lot of work, but I think it's different. I think that cosplayers kind of have the, you know, that this is the direction that they go, and they do that. And I do those things too, but I went a different way. I started following you guys. I started following the artists, and that was with my first book. It's comic book sized, everything. So I learned from you.
Yeah, I mean, what you're doing is really cool, though, because that's the thing that was like, but you're also a fan of like, there's cosplayers who are fans of cosplaying. They like dressing up as movie characters, comic characters. But, like, you are also a colorist, an artist. Like, your passion is beyond, like, it's more open to different things, and you actually incorporate what you like into your work, which makes your products really cool. And that's why, you know, it's cool to see the comic book size stuff. It's cool to see the characters you cosplay. Your art is great, you know. Alfred's art is great when you guys are, you know, working together. I mean, so you're doing you're like a totally different level than most of the cosplayers. That's what's different. You know, you're offering so much more. And to be honest, and it's done very well. It is done very well.
I appreciate that.
And that's all I'm giving you.
Okay, well, let's go ahead. We're going to talk about art now.
That's it's seltzer water, people.
Wait a minute. How much did you start with, and how much are you at now with that bottle?
It's Pellegrino, bro. Pellegrino, and that's a green screen, so you can only see the labels.
Oh, look at you, Scott.
It's not champagne, bro. I'm living the high life, bro. I pop XP, man. You know, I steal these from behind the Italian restaurant.
Drinking Cristal, man.
I'm like, Farrah, pull up quick, and I grab 2 bottles out of the thing, like, go, 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 go.
Nice, nice.
And you drink them on the run?
Yeah, just running and drinking them. It's the best. It's the best.
Good old days. That's how I used to drink.
It's great.
On the run, with the cops, sirens in the background.
That's
Good
it.
times.
Got your 9 strapped to the back, but you know, only when necessary. Only when necessary.
Yeah, you don't want to bring the heat unless it's necessary.
Exactly.
Right. Inglewood.
So Art, man, I mean, Cara, you're more than welcome to hang out with us if you like.
Yeah.
But now we gotta pick on Art. You know, supposedly this guy does stuff.
Yeah, the more the merrier. So stay on and harass me. Throw tomatoes. I don't mind.
So Art, you are back with a second chance. It's doing very well. A second chance for the Black and White Volume 1.
Yeah, give me a second chance, people. I deserve it.
Boom, dude, 4,000, almost 5,000% over your goal. Less than $500 away from being 5,000% of your original goal. Holy crap! Well done, Holmes.
Thank you. I didn't think we would do anything near this because this is a second chance, and we had some overprinting, so we had some inventory. And when we ended the campaign, the original campaign, sometimes you just don't know. And I've done a few crowdfund campaigns, but I didn't understand like the way the Indiegogo things, because there's the in-demand store and there's a lot of other things. So now it's kind of a science. But when we first started using Indiegogo, we didn't know. So I thought by closing the campaign would show progression to actually fulfillment and printing with the backers. So I thought it would be a good thing to show them that we're moving forward, not just saying it on live shows, but actually showing, that you're moving forward. And so we did that. And then within days, we were inundated with like, why'd you do that? We were saving up for next week. We're going to get our paycheck next weekend and blah, blah, blah. And so then my wife, who's also my partner on this, and she does all the fulfillment, she was like, well, let's fulfill this campaign, because it was like 1,200, 1,500, like backers. So it was a big campaign. And so we got it all finished. We got everything settled here at the Thibert household. And then we were like, let's do a second chance. So we did it. And I thought maybe 10K, for the whole month. I didn't think we would do that in one day, but we pretty much did. And so, I'm completely overwhelmed with the support. You guys are amazing. And one of the things I wanted to do with this campaign to set it apart from the original campaign is to do that piece of artwork, which is the Total Bot Annihilation black and white artwork that the amazing Kyle Ritter did the colors for. So that's as a poster print, 24 by 36 poster. That's the art right there. And it's also a free trading card for every tier. So if you back any one of these tiers, you'll get one of these trading cards absolutely free.
That's great. How are you shipping the posters?
We have, you probably do the same thing, because I know that Billy, you do a lot of prints, like 11 by 17 prints and things like that. So my wife and I have, the website's called Art by Thibert. So, and so we sell.
We like it. That's good.
Oh, that's you. Yeah. That's you, Art.
Art by Thibert. Yeah. So I sell my original artwork there, but I also sell, the 11 by 17 prints. So we started shipping, through, getting orders through the site and everything. So at first we were using the smaller tubes, but my wife's really conscientious about like how these things ship and what it takes to get things out of the boxes and stuff. So one day she just popped the lid off and tried to get the poster out, and she noticed it was a little bit too compact and it was hard to get the print out. So what we do now is the the tube is about like 3 inches, 2.5 inches wide. And so we barely have to kind of roll it. So it just kind of barely folds over on itself. And then we put it in. And so then, you know, when you pull the poster out, it doesn't keep that shape. It flattens out easier. And also it's just much easier to get out of the tube without damaging it. And we found that in shipping, we have less damage because it's harder to roll over a bigger tube than a smaller tube, you know, with a forklift or a truck. So yeah, all of these posters are going to be in a bigger tube. My wife was thinking about those triangles, those triangle boxes.
Oh, yeah.
But I was talking about it on a live stream, and they said those are really easy to run over with with a truck or a forklift because they have that edge. You just ride right up them.
Yeah.
And so I think we're going to use the tubes, not the triangle boxes this time. Yeah. How do you ship yours, Billy?
Well,
Cara too. I'm sure she's done posters.
Yeah, Cara, do you have posters?
I do. I don't have that big of a posters, but I do send out posters, 11 by 17s often, and I use flat mailers for those. If I'm doing something like a Kickstarter, I'll use like an 18 by 13 by 2 box so I can put books and prints in them. I also just got these new literature mailers, and I don't know how I feel about them yet, but they like fold on all sides.
How do you pack, like, okay, you have an oversized box for your 11 by 17, but how do you stop all your books and the miscellaneous items shifted around in the box?
So I use bubble wrap, and I bag and board everything, and I bubble wrap them. Usually I try to even them out, so people will buy more than one book typically. If it's one book, it just goes in the middle. Or I also have my stretch goal pack, so it'll be like I'll have a stack here and a stack here, and then each stack is bubble wrapped, and then I'll put bubble wrap in between if I need to, if there's extra space, and then bubble wrap put the prints in sleeves, and then bubble wrap the sleeves and set it on top. And that's been so far so good.
So do you custom order the boxes? Where do you get your boxes from?
Right now, I'm getting them off of Amazon. I'd like to find a better distributor, and I'm actually working with a box maker. If I can get enough people interested in these boxes, then we can all get a better price. So I'll do that a lot of times too. Like I'll hit up other creators and be like, hey, you want to go in together on some Geminis? You want to go in together on a BCW order? So if I can get enough people in, and it's not even that many, together, we can get these boxes made. And I think 2 inches is actually pretty good. I've been pretty happy with the 2 inch, with 2 inches of depth.
Yeah. I say just fold them. Just fold them.
Yeah, we don't have posters. I found, believe it or not, holofoil. I think they're holofoil or chromium Shi Senryaku prints. I can show it to you. Posters, thick, real thick, nice ones. I'm like, wow, this would be great for San Diego for the 25th anniversary of this book, Senryaku. But I'm like, man, how do I ship things? Because we shipped a lot of posters, but through Diamond. And we had them in just poster bags in big boxes. And then Diamond was able to distribute them. But we haven't, and I have so many posters. I mean, I've got hundreds of posters that we had put out, 20 years ago or more, more than 20 years ago. So I'm kind of curious about, do you sell a lot of posters, guys? Do you charge extra for packing, for shipping, for a poster? Because like I said, I've got a couple of maybe 1,000 posters.
Yeah, that's why I asked, because every time I see you at a show, Billy, you have all those posters all over.
I have the prints. 11 by 17 print.
Well, that's kind of what I'm talking about.
Okay. I thought you meant
prints,
24 by 36 posters. No, we have 11 by 17 print.
Can I have a poster, Billy? Of course you can, man. I'm hanging above my bed. I have one of them above my bed as well of me.
Anyway,
you need one of NIle.
No. So no, but we have 11 by 17. So, and I can show you, we bought lithograph boxes, 11 or 12 by 18. I think 12 by 18 maybe 2 inches, like you were saying, Cara, for prints, and we ship them flat in like Mylar sleeves. And we pack everything with bubble wrap.
Where are you getting your boxes?
We get everything from Hot Flips, and a lot of the stuff, like, we get our what you call Gemini boxes. They're Hot Flips' own brand of boxes.
Good to know.
Yeah, and I can tell you what we're paying after I asked Debbie. But I also know that Brian Polito does his own stuff and manufactures it. You should call Brian if you want to get in on something. Tell him you would need 1,000 boxes. I bet you can get the best deal from him for the comic boxes. Or the Gemini type boxes.
Yeah.
You muted yourself, Art.
Art, you're muted. Can I unmute him?
I'm sorry. Yeah, I have pallets of the Gemini mailers in the garage right now.
Yeah. Us too. We're actually going to buy rent because of all these books are coming in. We're going to rent a pod and put like all the books and stuff in one of the pods for a month. By the time we get and then all the shipping supplies too. I have to actually go to Hot Flips tomorrow and go pick them up. Pick up another load in my Ram tomorrow at lunchtime. But another thing we do is I think we also order from Uline. A lot of stuff from Uline.
That's what we do. Yeah, we use Uline and all our packing materials and boxes and stuff. We go through them. They got pretty good deals. Pretty good. Yeah. Like for the tubes and stuff like that. They're not bad.
I mean, I love cardboard a lot. I freaking love cardboard. But you know what I love more than cardboard, Art?
Black and white.
I love freaking black and white. And,
do this.
For those out there, I mean, there's a history here. 25 years ago, they hit the scene. I mean,
tell us about that, right, Art?
Well, no, right? 25, 26 years?
It's 25 years ago, yeah.
25 years. You guys are part of this 25-year thing. It's weird.
It's a revival, yeah.
The revival, remastered. I mean, tell us about it. I mean, if this is new to someone, if someone that, back in the 90s never picked up an issue of black and white, I mean, who are our characters? What's the premise? This is the remastered volume 1.
Yeah, so Black and White originally came out in the heyday of the Image Comics boom, so 1994, and we did 3 issues originally, miniseries, and I remember pitching it to Rob Liefeld. He's like, Black and White, like the Jackson song, I love it. And that was it. It was done. It was a done deal. And so my wife and I, we wrote it. And it's really kind of a homage, a love letter to the Green Hornet. So my wife and I went to Bruce Lee auction estate. It was an auction estate, and while we were coming home, we knew that we had a green light from Image Comics, and so they said, we would like you to do something, create your own. And so when we were coming back from the auction, because I'm a Green Hornet fan, like 67 or whenever it came out, 66. And so Bruce Lee, amazing. And so I got the catalog, and there was one of his throwing stars, like a hornet, and they're like darts, and he throws them on the show. And so they had one of those at the estate auction. It was $800. I'd never been to one of these auctions before. So I got my paddle. I'm all ready to go. I'm thinking 800 is probably going to go a little bit above that, but no big deal. So I'm like, before I could even raise it, it went from like 800 to 1,000, from like 1,000 to 1,500. I think that thing sold for like $8,000 or something like that. I was like, I looked at my wife, and this was like the heyday. I looked at her and I was like, and then she goes, well, do it. You want it? Do it. And I was like, nah, I can't do it. So we didn't do it, but it definitely inspired us on the trip home, because LA is maybe an hour from where we live. And so we're driving back, and I'm just kind of reminiscent about the Green Hornet and Kato and their partnership and stuff like that. So Black and White came out of that. So basically White is kind of the Kato character, but not just like the original like Filipino, character in the radio show, but more like the Bruce Lee, Chinese, kung fu guy. And so, and then Reed is kind of a gizmo guy. So he's got guns, but they're non-lethal. So I thought like gas was a cool idea, when it came out, but gas is really slow activating. So we came up with these kind of like gels that they would shoot these guns, and this this like toxin or this gel would hit your skin and basically incapacitate you almost instantaneous. So he used like non-lethal weapons, you know, kind of like the Green Hornet. And then we had our Black Beauty, which is the bullet. And so it was kind of like just originally just modeled after that. And so then we did put out the mini series. And one of the ideas of the mini series was it was the 90s, the mid 90s, and I like gray area characters, gray area superheroes. I like all that stuff. But I was noticing that there was a whole generation of people that were kind of getting it wrong, like Frank Miller and Alan Moore and stuff. They kind of understood how to do it and how to do it right. But then there was like a second generation of guys that was like dark and it was gray. And it didn't seem like there was very much, like these characters weren't heroes. They were just kind of like ends justify the means, and they would do whatever it took to bring down the bad guy. And so I thought, well, what if I created a character, Reed Blackett, who was basically Steve Rogers, you know, in nature, or like Clark Kent. And you don't have to question his morals. You don't have to question his right and his wrong. And so, but you team him up in a contemporary way with that gray area character, which is White. So yeah. White is that person, the ends justify the means. Like she'll do anything as long as, you know, you get results kind of thing. And so then the tagline came out of that, which is, in a world where law and order is often blurred to gray, justice can only be black and white. So their form of justice is black and white. So then, you know, like the yin yang, because it's China, and then the gun sight and all that stuff kind of came out of, you know, the balance of the two. They have different points of view. They argue, you know, like most couples do, and things like that. So that's basically the original concept. Was they were vigilantes, and they were fighting a past villain of Whitney's. And so she needed to kind of learn that vengeance isn't the right way, you know, that justice is not vengeance. And so that was kind of the mini series. So the updated version is kind of a similar idea, but it's more future tense. So it's kind of in the future. So there were robots in that story, but it's more like they're like every day. They're like all over the street. You know, you bump into them on the street. They're everywhere. So one of the ideas was that that Reed Blackett, in the original story, he was ex-MI6. So he's a retired agent. And so the thing is that he wants to find a new way to help people, because he realized being a spy is that gray area world. Mm-hmm. You're living there all the time. You're killing without conscience. You're obeying, you know, orders without question. You know, that's a good spy. So he realized he didn't have a taste for it anymore. And there's a backstory there. So in the modern story, in the new version, he's MI10. So MI10 was originally in the Second World War was they were tech. So they were weapons developed. There was a division of MI6, and they were weapons development and tech. So I thought in this future storyline, they bring back the MI10. So Reed now he's James Bond, but he's a robot hunter. You know what I mean? He's a robot fighter. So he's like Magnus robot fighter mixed with James Bond, with a conscience that neither one of those guys could ever have. And so that's kind of the backdrop of the story. That there are sentient robots that are legal. There's certain types of robots that are legal. So that was basically the MI10 robotics task force that they fought those guys. And so then Whitney's backstory is similar. A character from her past comes up. She wants vengeance, and then Reed teaches her that vengeance isn't the way to go, because he's done stuff that has scarred him in the past. So he wants to make sure that she doesn't go down the same path. So he wants to make sure that you know, she doesn't have those same skeletons in the closet that he does. So that's kind of in a nutshell, in a long nutshell, the black and white story.
That's cool, and your patches are awesome. That design is ageless. The one of the yin and the yang with the both of them are fantastic.
Yeah, I think that, and then there's
Can we get those? You pledged? Did you get those?
Yeah, these were the original campaign, And so one of the things we did was with the second chance, we brought back all the original stretch goal items. So you can get those in the form of a tier or in an add-on. So you know how like now the Indiegogo has those add-ons that you can put in at checkout? Yeah, there they are right there. So you can get the trading card, the 3-button set. You can get the 2 embroidered patches, the mini print, the double-sided bookmark, and the new sticker. It's a 3x3 sticker that's new to this campaign.
Now, hey Art, let me ask you a question. I've always been curious about this. Is black and white did very well back in the 90s. Why did you stop? Why did the series stop?
Oh my gosh, I know Billy knows this story. It was the best of times. It was the worst of times. So like 94 seemed like, we were printing money. We were all rock stars. And then 95 kind of hit. So I was going to do it as an ongoing. So we did so good with the miniseries that my wife and I developed it as an ongoing. So we wanted to make sure we did it right. So we got 3 issues in the can because at the time, Image was getting a little bit of a bad reputation about not shipping on time, things like that. So we wanted to make sure we wouldn't be one of those guys. So we had our 3 issues in the can. We worked a year to get everything, to that point. And then within that year, that 95, numbers were just dropping monthly. And I remember talking to a mutual friend, Nick Barucci, and Barucci was like, by the time you launch this, figure that the numbers were going to be half of what they were the year prior. And so I was like, okay, that's great advice. Thank you. And Nick is really, really good. But man, even he didn't predict what was going to happen 95, 96 when the numbers really, really fell. And so the problem was we still had good numbers by today's standards. I think issue 1 still sold 300,000 copies or something like that. Wow. But everybody still had like numbers, like production costs were still high. Colorists were still high. I was working with an inker that was being paid $350 a page. Remember film output, Billy? You had to pay like, what was it? Tony Kelly was his name. What was it? Oh, Kellographics. Was that it?
Kellographics. Okay, yes.
Yeah, and it was like $100 a page just for like separations, like film separations and stuff. So all the costs were still really high. And I was using Oli Optics, Steve Oliff, who did the Spawn books. So he was coloring the books. And none of these guys were willing to negotiate down on the price.
Yeah, so, and the paper, there was also a paper shortage that happened then. Because I remember when we did our Chi Cyblade book, which was like the number 3 book for, I don't know, for a couple of months. But at least that month it was. I think we were only outsold by Spawn and, man, maybe the Lady Death swimsuit issue or something crazy like that. But my printing bill for that comic alone was something like $64,000.
Oh my gosh! For how many books?
Yeah, it was insane. There was a lot, but it was just we did real nice paper and all, and it was just nuts. It was something insane like that. Well, that might have been the month because we had 3 books, but it was just like whoa. Wow. And they said how the paper prices just.
Well, people to letter books was close to 100. It was like $80, $90 to letter a book. Then so everything was really high. And I remember going to all my vendors and different creative people working on the book. And I said, to keep this book going, could we renegotiate the contracts? And I offered like this, these are the realistic numbers. And so it's so weird that like the writing was on the wall, but it took the industry. Like, I think there was just such a like shock that how could this be happening that these numbers within that year, fell off so drastically that they weren't willing to renegotiate. And by that time, I was already back at Marvel, so I had to tuck my tail between my legs and go kiss Bob Harris' butt.
Bob's a good guy. I like
Bob's a great guy. Yeah, he gave me a job, but he made the first year a living hell for me. I think I inked every crappy book that Marvel put out that year. If it wasn't for it was Andy Kubert on X-Men, because he kept petitioning, like, we got to get art on this book. I want him to ink me. So he's the one that saved my life.
So now what? So due to the demand now, I mean, that's why the second chance is out for your book. I said due to the demand, that's why your black and white is at this, is doing so well in its second chance. Now, are you going to let this run in demand for a little while? Or are you just only doing second chance for X amount of days and that's it?
Yeah, it's going to be the 30-day campaign. I don't really have any plans to extend it at this point. There's no way it's going into demand because I really do have to. It was just designed to be just the one, month. And because I thought that we wouldn't have enough books, and I didn't think it would go this long, to be honest. I thought we would have sold out. I thought, because we didn't print a lot of the Greg Capullo books, so we sold out of those. So to keep this campaign going, we did a second chance for the second chance. So we have a variant of the Greg Capullo cover. And so there was a lot of kind of like on the fly trying to adjust, but I didn't think the campaign had the kind of legs that it does. But I'm still going to do it for the 30-day because I have to make time for the follow-up, which is volume 2. So I need time to start working on the volume 2 campaign, which is the follow-up and the conclusion to this storyline. And I'm hoping to have that out in the fall at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and that's are you going to do a volume 3?
No, the volume 2 will end that run. So I did learn, and I don't know how you're doing your books, Billy, but I have learned that I'm not going to serialize like the books, like cliffhanger kind of endings. I'm going to do one and dones, like 48-page, 60-page, 80-page books. However much like the story needs to tell this, to tell the tale, I'm going to use, and then I'm going to do one and dones. But I'll come back to those IPs. I'll do another storyline, but it won't be a continuation of that exact story. Just because I think because it takes so long for us to do these books because we're wearing so many hats and we're doing so many different things: writing, drawing, inking, art directing, crowdfunding, promoting, doing all these things that it's hard to find time to do these books. So I'm thinking, like realistically, I want to do 3 projects a year. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm starting to learn that that's kind of where my limitations are. I remember hearing, Todd McFarlane, who was talking about juggling. He goes, I think of my career as like juggling. Like all jugglers have a ball count. You know what I mean? Like they can do 3 successfully and comfortably. Maybe they could do 5, whatever it is. So everybody has to figure out how many balls they can keep up in the air before they start dropping them. And so when I heard him say that, I know he said it years ago, but it's weird because YouTube and everybody's like resurrecting these old interviews of all of us from like the day. And then you see Todd saying that it was almost like a beacon of light. It's exactly what I needed to hear at that moment about like, you don't want to be dropping those balls, man. You want to make sure that you can keep them all moving and you can keep things moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, that was our goal too, but it was supposed to be, 48-page self-contained story, but it's ours has a cliffhanger ending, but then we end with the next one.
Is that Miss Fury or is that
that's She? No, Miss Fury is a self-contained story.
Okay.
But for She Return of the Warrior, then we have She Heiko, which comes after. But the She Heiko, because we're already working on that, we're already way ahead of the game. So I want that book done. I want Heiko illustrated, lettered, illustrated, written before we even launch, and we just have to color it over those 30 days, and then we launch that, and then we ship that book out like Brian does, Polito, and like he said, like Todd says, know your balls. We're doing the same thing. Is to we've done our business schedule, our publishing schedule all the way into 2022.
Congratulations.
And that's the same thing with it. We're going to go with next year. We think we can do 4 of them next year. We're going to do 2 more campaigns this year, and then in 2021 we go with the 4 campaigns. But the Blevins story was just too big. Couldn't do Blevins in 48 pages, man.
Nope.
You can't contain them. You can't contain them.
I can fit in this. Like I don't even.
I can't.
Barely fit in the box, man. I don't even know what's going on.
I can't fit in the. Now, can you box shrimp?
I have a question, and before I ask the question, though, I just want to say, Cara, it's great to see you. I'm glad you're back on the show. and absolutely congratulations on the success of your Confession of the Cosplay Diva. I know you've spent tons of hard work on that, and I think that it's done great. So congratulations, and also same to you, Art, on Chrono Mechanics, and then bringing up Black and White. Yeah, no doubt. My question is like with you revisiting a book from the 90s. Are you guys hearing me okay, by the way?
Yeah, we got a little bit of reverb.
Okay.
Might be you, Cara. I think it's
Cara. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Sadly, yeah.
Well,
I can actually take off.
Oh no! Don't go!
I
didn't say that to leave. No, don't leave because I got here. Then I'll be all self-confident. I'll cry.
He'll cry.
I will cry. It happens.
Yeah, but, you know what? Yeah, just keep it muted till you. Then when you want to say, just talk and then just unmute it.
But you see,
like, damn, I could have got off this street.
I know.
She's like, Blevins is here. I have a reason to leave. But
I think he was ready to leave when I came on.
Oh man,
he was.
Well, Art, like there's definitely been a kind of like streamlined idea that has been done most recently that seems to be successful. Like you have Dan Fraga, who brought back Black Flag and did his book. You have Ethan, who broke the $1 million ceiling with Cyberfrog, something that he did back in that day, and he brought back. And now you are revisiting Black and White. Yeah, of course, Billy. I mean, Billy transcends time with his incredible stuff. But I'm wondering, do you think that is going to be a trend that we're going to see more of? I mean, do you think that we're going to end up seeing Sam Keith Max come back? And
dude, that would be great.
Oh my God, absolutely.
What about Dale Keown's Pit, bro?
Yeah, absolutely, dude. I was going there. That was exactly where I was going next. No, I'm glad we're on the same brainwave. But I mean, really, do you think that maybe the lull in the mainstream comic due to COVID, and also maybe even the storylines not being up to par, and having recycled non-linear storylines, do you think that maybe it opens up for these older books from basically our childhood, to come back and create a brand new foundation for comics?
I think what's happening, and I didn't realize that until you start getting involved, that I think probably, and this is no slight to anybody that's come afterwards, but I think probably the mid-90s, around that period, was probably the last of the great comic book collectors. Oh. You know what I mean? Like that's the last like generation that was like comic books, like I gotta have them. That was absolutely nuts. And then when we got into the early 2000s, there were like some successes, but they were kind of far and few between. And then like you said, kind of comics went more kind of agenda oriented versus story, things like that. So yeah. I think they turned off a lot of those 94, like those mid 90s guys, and that were still there. And what Ethan, and I'm sure Billy, because Ethan and I talked, and I'm sure Billy will back me up, is that we're starting to hear that people are like, Black and White brought me back. Like I hadn't bought a book since the 90s.
Yeah, how incredible was that? I mean, and nobody knew really. Well, I will say I didn't know really how great of a penciler you were. Like, because I've only ever seen the inking stuff, Yeah. And Black and White I was like, he can do it all.
Well, thank you.
He has everything.
He could do it all night long.
Yeah, and I mean, again, going back to your point,
disgusting.
There was and I don't know if it was
horrible
a post.
visual.
I don't know if it was a post on Twitter by somebody random or just something that I saw, but somebody had broken or busted out like an old Wizard magazine from like 1994, 1995, and they went to the Wizards top 10. Like they have the top 10 books, the top 10 writers, the top 10 artists. And again, this is like 25 years ago. 25 or just a little under 25 years ago, and you look at the list of all the people in that top 10, and it's still relevant today.
Yeah.
And I mean, like,
boy, Bill Tucci.
Yeah, absolutely. Billy was right there.
Were you number 3? Were you number 3? Mullet and all?
He was repping the mullet like a champion.
No, it's not a mullet. He called it like a bi-level or something.
A bi-level.
A bi-level, yeah.
Yeah, bi-level, yeah. The bi.
Yeah, how dare you? Don't ever call it a mullet.
Whatever it was majestic. It was majestic, Billy. That's all I'm going to say. Whatever it was super majestic.
It looked amazing on his Kawasaki Ninja.
Yes,
the little flaps under the helmet
and his members only jacket. It was awesome.
I played hockey, and it was flow out the back. It's all about the Disney.
He's like, hey, you want me to sign that book? You want me to sign that G-book?
You know what? I wish I had those pictures from when I was in that Wizard top 10 because I had the cool haircut. It was kind of like the wedge, where it was kind of really short, and it was kind of come out, and then it had the big sweep over the side, and my hair was all just black as black, And I'm like, yeah, you know what? I used to be young. I didn't wear glasses, so I was like, wow, I would like to get.
We were all young. Cara's like, no, I'm still young.
Because when they would take those pictures, right, Billy? Like at the cons, they'd go, "Oh, we got this little area," and then they get you, like Wizard would get you in that area. They snap a photo of you, and I was like, that's a really good picture of me. I wish
I know, dude. That's what that picture of me in the Wizard magazine, Comic Images, had they did trading cards, and I was going to be on the trading card, and they had a friggin' photographer come over to my house, my studio. It was like maybe a half hour, and he's like, all right, stand here, look like that. I'm like, all right. I never even saw him, and then he said to them, and then they sent me all the press. I'm like, can I get some of those pictures, man? So they sent me a few. I got like 28 by 10s left of that they'd given me.
Oh man, you got to do a live stream. You got to do a live stream where you show the teen sensation Billy.
Oh yeah, there's one.
I didn't get a Billy Tucci trading card.
What? I
didn't get one.
You have trading cards,
dude. There's
I got a trading card right here. Hang on, I'll show you my trading.
I want one just to keep in my wallet. So
yeah.
Dude, I have a trading card too, but it's.
I want one so I can show all of my friends.
Art, these guys don't have trading cards.
Yeah, what a bunch of losers!
Really? Losers.
I want to show my one friend.
Kara, do you have trading cards too?
Check out my.
I have lots of trading cards.
You have trading cards?
Yeah,
dude, Blevins, we need some trading cards,
So
bro.
many trading cards.
Dude, why did I get a trading card? Like I'm a little sad right now that I don't have a Billy Tucci trading card.
So, Art, what's your next project? What are you doing after this?
Yeah, my next project is going to be Volume 2 of Black and White. So I'm going to put that out in the fall. And then I have been in talks with Nick Brucci over at Dynamite. So we're talking about doing a Green Hornet, Black and White crossover. Not just a cover, but where I'll be writing the story.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Yeah,
that would be pretty neat.
We'll see if we can get a teen sensation from the 90s to do a cover, maybe.
Get a Brian Blevins cover. A Brian Blevins cover.
It'll be the best dragon you've ever seen.
It'll be the one and only.
It has nothing to do with the story. It's just a dragon.
Nothing at all.
All right.
Let me ask you a question, Art, because I was discovering a new show called Stargirl.
Uh-huh.
And the thing came up like, hey, why don't you read the books? And I was like, okay. And then this little ditty popped up. And it's you.
Wait. Okay, I was sharing my... Can you show the trading card real quick so I can stop sharing?
Oh, you got a trading card.
Yeah.
Oh! That's awesome.
Look at that maniac.
Dude, that's awesome.
Dream Studios.
God, that is yeah. So that's your own personal card? Like, is that yours, the one that you owned?
Yeah. Extreme Studios did one of all, the guys at the studio. So I think Marlo Equeza did the artwork for him.
When they give you a trading card for you to keep, do you sign it?
Well, what we did is they were promos for San Diego. So we had a big to do. We had a big line and everything. So everybody, like we had Top Cow, we had McFarlane, we had Wildstorm, Jim Lee, and all the different studios and artists were there. I think Eric Larson was there too. And so everybody had their little freebie giveaways for their IPs. And so Rob Liefeld thought it would be cool to do trading cards. So we each had a trading card and had stats on the back. So I think the only ones from Extreme that were at that signing, though, was myself, Dan Penosian, and Rob Liefeld. And I do remember, what was his name? Brett Booth. He was with Wild.
Brett Booth was awesome.
Yeah, he's a brilliant artist, but he was a bit of a sad sack. So I remember him at this signing, and I was just going, dude, look at all those people. This is Rockstar moment. This is once in a lifetime. You need to enjoy this. You need to chill out. And he's just like, he was very dour, right?
Because he's like, I don't have a trading card.
Right, probably. So I started writing like little captions, like little word balloons on my trading card. And I wasn't right next to Brett, but I think I was right next to Rob, then Jim Lee, and then I think Eric Larson, and then Brett Booth. And so I handed it to Rob. I said, pass it on. So each one of those guys had to pass that card over to get to Brett Booth. And then it would be like, hey, Brett, turn that frown upside down. I just write like little things like that on it.
You're like, hang in there, buddy.
Yeah, hang in there. This is pretty good stuff. Learn to enjoy
High
it.
five a day keeps a smile on your face.
And so you know what he did? He got the card and just ripped it in two and just turned it down.
Oh, no.
I remember at the end of the signing, we had like a couple hours, and there was a whole stack of Thibert trading cards at Brett Booth's feet that were all ripped in half.
Man, well, he just got his name taken off my Christmas card list.
No, he's a good guy. I've worked with him since. He's a great guy, but I just thought
who drew those cards?
It was Marlo. Is it Acquiesca? I think that's how you say his last name. He worked at Extreme. He did a lot of ink work at the time. And then he went on to DC as well. I can't remember the books that he worked on, but he worked at DC. I think he inked a lot of
was it this book?
Todd Knox work? Oh no, that's the book I worked on.
Oh.
Is that Jeff Johns?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's the Stargirl show and all that stuff, which he's a part of as well. But my question to you, did you pencil the cover?
No. You know what? Is that Alex Ross? Who did that? I think it's Alex
Ross.
Covered by Art Thibert, Dale Eagleson, Richard Horry, and Alex Ross.
Oh, that we might have did the variant. Yeah, so I think the main cover is cover is Alex Ross.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I inked Dale Eaglesham on the cover.
Yeah.
Dude,
Dale's a madman. What's that?
How many issues did you work on of this book?
Oh, gosh. 3, 4, maybe 5. Because I remember, like, I inked Dale on a lot of, like, Trinity stuff before that. Uh-huh. And I think he liked – I think we kind of gelled maybe like 80%. I was 80% there for him. And I don't blame any penciler for, like, if I can't, fulfill their vision, then, get rid of me or help, like, tutor me to I can get to that point. So he gave me a lot of leeway, and he worked with me, showed me a lot of patience, but I think that he just was looking for something else. So I didn't do the complete run. I wish I did, because I think Jeff Johns nailed the story. It was I
do too. I've been reading it, and it's great.
Yeah, Cara is on that cover. I see her.
Oh yeah, right there in the bottom here.
Yeah, it was good stuff.
I didn't know the Justice Society of America was in Arizona.
Yeah,
mind blown. Now I know.
It is now.
Secret's out.
Secret
is out.
So did you get your trading cards, Billy?
Photo shoot.
I'll find it for another show.
What was that, Art?
I was saying Kara's got to do a photo shoot on a big round table that says Justice Society.
Dude, that'd be awesome.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
Get some other cosplayers.
Every character, Kara.
Oh yeah, do every character.
That'd be epic. There's your huge print. Yeah,
that'd be awesome.
Oversized.
God, you know what? Like, man, Man, maybe if they could continue the series, like maybe you could actually get on that show. How awesome would that be?
Oh, whoa!
Oh, on that TV show?
Dude, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Power Girl.
Well,
Yeah, because I mean, you know it's coming.
Yeah, Blevins, put in the good word.
Yeah, I'll call Jeff right now.
Okay.
People.
Yeah,
Hey, what's up?
Nice phone, Jake.
I like just the sound effects data.
Yeah. It's a I hand. It's
the I hand, yeah.
X squared.
Yeah.
I'm sure. Like,
I don't know why I said that into it.
I actually watched a video about this morning about like how kids now do that. Like, how do you pretend you're on the phone? So they're showing like you know people that grew up in the 70s, 80s, 90s, older. They're like they hold their hand like this in a phone gesture. But kids nowadays hold their hand like this in a phone gesture.
It looks weird.
Smartphone because of the smartphone.
Well, you know what I was thinking about this, and I'm sure that Billy has thought of this too. Like in the day, there was a phone shape. There was a receiver. There was a phone. It had a dial on it. Like there was a graphic. Like there were like graphic representations. You know, like there were public phones, so they would have like the actual receiver, like a graphic of it. And then there were like records. So there was like a graphic of a record album. You know, like there were different graphics for like different appliances, things like that. Yeah. And now everything is a rectangle. Almost everything is a rectangle. Phones, TV sets, every technology is all a rectangle now. So like
everything's a rectangle, man.
Yeah.
My monitors.
You're a rectangle.
You're a rectangle.
Everything.
What a comic book!
Oh my god!
What?
But you know what I mean?
like
how do you have a graphic representation of anything anymore when everything?
I like how the thing is still on there.
He didn't have to protect.
After having Kevin Eastman on, I had to make sure to protect the turtles, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Well, his turtles can kick those things' ass.
Maybe. You don't know. Can you imagine? Like maybe there might have been a 6th turtle way back in the day that just didn't make it. We don't know.
Because of one of those things. Yeah.
You're right.
Speaking of Kevin Eastman, tomorrow night, because we had Kevin Eastman and Paul Jenkins on the show, we're hosting the Fairy Quest Kickstarter launch party, and I'm getting trashed. It is going to be a great event, and he's going to actually be getting into it. I believe he's going to have a couple special guests on with him, but he's actually going to bring people on a tour of the book. You know, they're launching it. He's going to show images from the book, pages of the book, and just kind of delve right into it. So that should be fun. So
I got my Hennessy ready.
Oh shit! Still got that dang.
You know Paul at all, Art?
Yeah. I supported Humberto's campaign way back when. I think they kickstarted the original Fairy Quest book, and I don't know if they're still doing the same format, but they're using the European like magazine size hardback, and then Humberto's laying it out like the European style. Yeah. Is Humberto going to work on this volume as well?
Humberto's doing a cover for this one, and then the interiors are done by someone else.
Yeah, he's still killing it with Strange Academy, which, by the way, number 2 came out today.
Oh, it did?
Oh, amazing. Like, definitely worth the wait.
Like, we talking like Umbrella Academy amazing?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, just think. Like, Strange Academy number 2 came out today, and the Umbrella Academy Season 2 trailer came out today, and The Boys Season 2 trailer came out today. Man, today is just a good day for old Blevins, is all I'm saying.
It's a good day. It's a good Wednesday.
It's old Blevins.
Well, you guys are getting all kinds of big comic book stars on your show. Congratulations, you guys.
Yeah, we got you. What's up?
We got Cara on. We got you.
Cara on.
Yeah, we got
definitely. Well, I came on when you guys had Humberto, so I harassed you guys from the chat. And I think when Walter Simonson was on, I gave you guys some harassing comments.
I do want to hear a story. So I reached out to Trina Robbins today.
Oh my God.
And she's like the foremost authority on women in comics. Definitely Miss Fury and June Tarpe Mills. And so I was introduced. I had met her. Debbie and I had breakfast with her in San Diego last year. And her and her husband, Steve LaLoya, the great legendary cartoonist. And we had the best time with them. It's just really nice. But she's tough. right? She's a tough woman. So Bill Finn, who is June Tarpe Mills' nephew, sends an email. I'm like, I'm afraid to email. Can you email her? Because I Facebooked her and she never got back to me. So he sends her the email and she's like, oh, Billy, I would love to do it. But man, she's like, well, I need to see the script. and I, she's like, well, what's this book about? I can't just see pinups because I sent her the link, And I was telling about me and Maria Laura and all this. And then she's like, I sent her the pitch, the original pitch. She's like, well, I hope this isn't a press release because your spelling and punctuation is atrocious. Oh, no, this was the pitch. I said the dynamite. And then I sent her script. She goes, oh, no, I think the story's great. I just want to see more. I want to see some of the art. So hopefully now we'll get her on next week, June Tarpe Mills.
Yeah, I remember
come on, because she's
she's awesome. I remember when we were doing Black and White, and Larry Martyr, who was in charge of Image Comics at that time, was like, you got to get your wife, because my wife's my co-writer as well on most of the projects. And so he's like, you got to have your wife meet Trina. And so they had a powwow, and my wife was really, really taken aback by her and just her drive and just knowledge. I mean, anything you need to know Wonder Woman, that she knows everything about Wonder Woman. Yeah.
She's nice, but she's tough.
Yeah, she's tough. Yeah. No nonsense, I think is the word.
She's like,
you better get your script together for the show then.
I sent it.
You want to see some questions?
I'm still writing the scripts. Oh yeah. Oh, for the script for the show.
On the show. Yeah.
Well, I think you're probably playing Billy because she's like, do you need an editor on your book?
Yeah. With your spelling in this thing you sent me, I think you do.
Yeah. How cool would that be? Have Dynamite hire her to be the editor?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh.
You're gonna have to email Nick, I guess, huh?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
There you go. Well, all right, everyone. It's been a blast. We've now approached 2 hours, and I'm sleepy.
I was fashionably late.
You're a little sleepy.
I got the big meeting tomorrow morning.
Me too.
Right.
Well, thank you guys.
I have nothing to do, so
I'm envious.
Yeah, it's great. I'm gonna kill this Dr. Pepper here in a minute and crash out.
How do you crash after drinking like a fourth of a bottle of Dr. Pepper? Is that enough?
Don't you sass me, Art.
Art, where's my cowl? Where's my cowl, Art?
I just Trina Robbins you. You want the cowl? I'll bring you the cowl. All right.
I want the freaking cowl.
Oh,
I want the cowl.
He's like, I'll go get it right now. And he's just
Tara's like, I am never coming on this show ever again. I am never coming on with you.
We'll just invite her every time. Just come on.
Yeah.
Come on. Just listen to us say stupid stuff.
Yeah. Nice. Art, I just want to state for the record, when you were on the other day, I definitely did a super chat to show some support.
Thank you.
For Chrono Mechanics. And yeah, man. I want to see some really good stuff from Black and White now, so I can do some super chats for that.
Oh, my friend, you will, and thank you.
Is this up for sale?
No, this is mine. You can't have it.
Why did I think it was up for sale?
Because he said that during the big 7-hour stream, he was talking about selling it to fund something. I can't remember what it was. He's like, I better sell this. I could fund the next book with that. And then you were like,
that was one in the movie, correct?
Yeah. Then you're like, it doesn't smell like Michelle Pfeiffer anymore.
Oh yeah, that's what I said. They were like, "Can you smell? Does it smell like Michelle Pfeiffer?" I go, "No, it smells like somebody just like squealed their tires. It's like burning tires. It really is. It's very stinky."
I want to know how it fits on your head. That's crazy because it's
like,
you guys keep baiting me. You keep baiting me. There's no way. I'll tell you one thing too. Michelle Pfeiffer has a very tiny head. Like
yeah.
Did you have do you have Batman cowl too, or just the Catwoman?
All right, here we go. Okay, I'll go get it.
Yeah,
he's like, I'll put that one on.
Yeah, now you're holding out on NIle. And then it brings back my hatred when I was young.
Art, hey, Art, while you're at it, can you grab the Joker mask?
Hey, Art, you got any bacon? I'm hungry.
I wish I
make me a sandwich.
Hey, can you grab that 9/8 CGC Amazing Fantasy number 15?
Yeah, so This is the Keaton cowl from Batman Returns.
Dude,
movie worn. That was worn in the movie.
Yeah. You can kind of see like where the Velcro was for the cape.
Yeah. Now, what did you pick these up at auction?
I in the day in the 90s when we were making some serious cash, I had this guy, his name's James Latta, and he bought and sold for Planet Hollywood. Do you remember that chain of food? Yeah, but they had movie props all over the place.
Yeah.
So he heard that I was a big Batman fan. So he said, I have access to a Batman cowl from Batman Returns. Would you be interested? And I said, sure. So I purchased this from him with certificate of authenticity. I found out later he worked at the Warner Brothers archive, so I don't know how legal this is.
Oh, he stole it. He totally stole it.
Do you ever just sit around and be like, yes, I know you're Batman?
I never talked to him.
Have you worn it? Have you worn it?
Oh, God. No.
I bet you have. Look, we won't tell anybody. Just go ahead and let us know.
I always ask the same question. It's like, do you guys ever role play you and your wife? No, come on.
What?
Where's
It's not what you think. He's in the Catwoman mask.
Yeah, wow. Where's your
there was a story. Hey, there was a story. I remember, and my wife actually found this. This was way back when, and this couple was role playing, and so it was Batman and Catwoman, and this guy had his wife kind of hooked to the bed, let's just say. And so he was going to make a mad leap as Batman, onto the bed. And so there was a fan going. And so when he jumped, the fan whipped around and hit him in the back of the head and knocked him out. So he fell right on top of his wife. Wow. And there wasn't anything she could.
Oh my God, that's funny.
So she's got her husband passed out, dressed like Batman. She's just like Catwoman. I'm sure they must have been naked on some level.
Oh my God.
So I don't remember how that played out, but yeah, there you go. Stranger things.
Well, I think that's a good one. If anything, to end
It's a good way to wrap it.
Yeah,
So,
for sure.
Cara, thanks for coming on and hanging out with us. Art, it's a pleasure as always to have you on.
Thanks,
and good luck with your campaign. We'll continue to push them. We'll continue to share them. Through Twitter and Facebook. And good luck with everything. And keep us posted with any new stuff. And with the pandemic and stuff going on, Cara, you had said something, like you miss seeing certain people and whatnot. I mean, we've said this time and time again. If if you see our promos up and there's someone on that you'd like to chat with, just say, hey, can I jump on? I mean, we can have many people on the show. So you guys are always invited. If you ever want to pop on, we have a guest, just shoot a message. We'll send you the link.
Cool. StreamYard can do 10 people now or something.
Yeah, I know. I'm pumped about that.
Yeah.
Now with some serious panels can get done.
Yeah, that's exactly it. That's the goal.
Yeah. All right, everyone. Well, have a great night. Again, we're going to be live tomorrow night at 9 p.m. for our final show of the week. And we'll be doing our launch party for Fairy Quest. So everyone have a great night, and we will see you all tomorrow night at 9 p.m.
Good night, guys.
See ya.
Thank you, Art. Thank you, Cara. Thank you, Josh Geppi.